Okay, this is my speech over marijuana legalization. $10.6 billion. It's a lot of money, right? That's the amount of money, according to John Getman, who has a PhD in public policy from George Mason University, that the United States could save each year off of criminal expenditures if marijuana arrests were to stop. Susan Ferris, who is a part of the Center for Public Integrity, says that youth crime dropped by 20% since the legalization of marijuana in Colorado, and that doesn't sound like such a bad thing. If we could decrease crime here in our own state, wouldn't it be worth it? I've researched several government organizational articles and websites that show more positivity towards the subject than negativity. Of course, the topic of marijuana legalization has been a discussion for a very long time, but I'm not really talking about the morality of the subject, more just the numbers and how it could benefit us. Marijuana is something that's similar to alcohol and could have many benefits for the United States if regulated correctly. There are so many different things that we could discuss about the legalization of marijuana, but I want to focus on how marijuana and alcohol are similar and the benefits that marijuana offers for our nation and the effects that regulation could have. Marijuana and alcohol have similar traits. The same rules apply for both marijuana and alcohol. According to the Controlled Substances Act, voters in Colorado passed initiatives legalizing marijuana for adults 21 and over. Same thing with alcohol. You have to be 21 or over to purchase it, so it's not that different. But with alcohol, there were approximately 88,000 deaths attributable to excessive alcohol use each year in the United States, according to the Center for Disease Control. So something that is legal that you can go buy as long as you're 21 years old is responsible for thousands upon thousands of deaths, but something like marijuana, who hasn't shown any proof of any deaths, is still illegal. Doesn't sound right to me. I want to take a look back at the prohibition of alcohol and see how those numbers were, how they affected us as a nation. The prohibition of alcohol wasn't a positive enforcement. At the national level, prohibition costed the federal government a total of $11 billion in lost tax revenue, while costing over $300 million to enforce. A Harvard economist, Jeffrey Miron, argued that the government could save $7.7 billion a year by not having to enforce marijuana prohibition. The report also found that taxing people or pot rates at comparable to those levied on tobacco and alcohol could raise an additional $6.2 billion annually. That's a total of $13.9 billion in savings and income. That's a lot of money. Of the revenues collected so far by legalized marijuana, the 15% sales tax, 10% of that goes to the local government in the state that has one or more retail marijuana stores within its boundaries. So a lot of that money is being put to good use, and it's not just being thrown away. Marijuana and alcohol, yes, are very similar, but now let's take a look at the many benefits that regulating and legalizing marijuana would have. There are many benefits to legalizing marijuana. It has been found to have many health benefits. Stanford University Outreach Project for Education states that medical marijuana can be used for chemotherapy, sclerosis, and even AIDS therapy. Common problems such as ADD, migraines, OCD, and seizures have also been shown to be minimized by the use of regulated marijuana, according to the Herbal Mission that's located in San Francisco, California. The regulation of marijuana has the potential to dramatically decrease crime. Regulation, obviously, will decrease crime. Just after a few months of legalization in Colorado, there was a 12.5% reduction in sexual assaults, a 7.2% decline in robberies, and a whopping 43.5% decrease in car break-ins, according to Raul Duke, who is a part of the Alternate organization. So with all this being said, marijuana is something that select people are going to do regardless of whether it's legal or not. So why not take advantage of the opportunity, regulate it, and make profit off of it? The legalization of marijuana clearly has many benefits such as medical and economical, and can easily be compared to alcohol. So all in all, there's not like you can go out to President Obama himself and say, hey, I want to make marijuana legal everywhere we go, all over the country. But you can take a step back and think about it as it's becoming more and more of a subject and legal everywhere. You can think about it and really know that with anything, there's pros and cons. But it's really which one outweighs the other that matters the most. Thank you.